Welcome to Sense of Style. I'm Stuart. 8 GOAT fragrances. GOAT stands for greatest of all time. And obviously, I cannot have 8 fragrances that are all the greatest of all time. So these are the greatest of all time at one particular thing. Although there is a fragrance on here that a lot of people would say is the greatest of all time, but we can sort that out later. Anyway, let's get to it. Fragrance number 1, this is Club de Nuit Intense Man. This is the greatest cologne of all time, according to me. Actually, the only fragrance I think that really could challenge this as the greatest cologne of all time would be Cool Water. This is a cologne of green Irish tweed and very, very popular in the 1990s. This is a cologne of Creed Aventus and very, very popular now. I think the number 2 would be Mont Blanc Explorer. And I got Explorer because it's a hype around Aventus 3 years ago, 4 years ago was real. And I'm like, okay, what is this all about? So I got this and I was kind of like, I don't get it. It's a nice fragrance. It just didn't perform on me. And I've heard other people say that about Explorer. It's fine on some people, but on other people, it kind of dies. This didn't die. I got this not long after. It was super cheap. It was another fragrance to talk about. And so I got this and I was like, I get it now. Greatest of all time. Fragrance number 2 is Dior Homme Intense. The reason it didn't get like my sort of approval as the greatest of all time, full stop, is because there's 2 different audiences really out there. There are the collectors, the enthusiasts. Chances are, you're the people that are watching this channel. And for us, for the most part, this really is the greatest of all time. But not everybody is like that. And I mean, you look at sales right now, Dior Sauvage is killing everything else. But either way, this is the greatest of all time for collectors. We love it. People that are into fragrances know. And I can prove it. It's pretty simple. You go on Fragrantica, they have done their awards. 7 years they've done it. This has won best fragrance of all time 7 years in a row. No other fragrance has ever won it, which is crazy. Collectors love this. It is an iris fragrance. Not everybody loves iris, but this is the lipsticky version of iris. It uses ambrette, which is creamy, to give it a little bit of iris, a little bit of a lipsticky feel. Great performance, good long-lasting fragrance. Number 2. Fragrance number 3, this is Prada Lunar Rosa Carbon. This is the greatest of all time when it comes to compliments for, people 30 and up. I'm saying that because this is a Dior Sauvage DNA, but the Dior Sauvage DNA is not for everybody. It is very brash. A lot of pepper and ambroxan. It's very loud in your face, tons of projection. If you're an introvert, or if you come from a culture that is not as brash, or if you're a little bit older, it's kind of like Sauvage for, more introverted type of people. And I think this is a really good compliment getter even still. So Prada is really good at smoothing things out, making it a little bit more mature. Prada is the Italian clean house. Everything is very clean, simple, and elegant. Hermès is the French version of Prada for French fragrances. So in Italy, you got Armani and you got Valentino, and they do whatever they want. And then Prada comes in and goes, no, we're just going to keep it simple, keep it clean. They use their patented Prada Lunar Rosa lavender in this. Very smooth. Then add metallic notes. Still has great performance. Very smooth version of Sauvage. Fragrance number 4 is a heavy projecting iris fragrance. I think it has the most projection for iris. This is Valentino Wo Intense. It's also a leather fragrance too, right? But it's just beast. Every time I put it on, I smell myself for like the next 2-3 hours. I can smell it on me. But yeah, it's a leather fragrance with a lot of iris and vanilla. It is very, very strong. Interesting thing though, there's a new 2021 version. The note breakdown actually looks very similar to this. I don't know how different it is. But the Valentino Uomo fragrance has changed quite a bit. This is the older version. The newer 2021 version has ramped up the iris big time. And so this is a leather gourmand. And then the 2021 version is more like a spicy iris fragrance. That's just a little aside. This is still really about Valentino Wo Intense. But yeah, I'm just curious if anyone out there has tried the new Valentino Uomo. shoot me an email or let me know in the comments. Fragrance number 5. Now, I haven't heard anyone else say this, but I will say this. This is what I think. I think the greatest flanker of all time, and by that I mean that much better than the original, is this. Boss Bottled Intense Eau de Parfum. I've tried Boss Bottled a few times. I get about 3 or 4 hours. It doesn't last that long. It's very pleasant. You know, it's the apple pie vibe, which is vanilla, cinnamon, and apple, right? So it's apple pie. It's kind of light, right? This Intense EDP is so much richer. And in terms of performance, twice I've gotten 12 hours. And this is one of the few fragrances where I will test over and over again because of its reputation as being super powerful. And the first time I tested and got 12 hours, I was shocked. I was really shocked because you're not going to get that from the regular. So I think this one, in terms of quality over the original EDT, this is like vastly, vastly superior. And yet, of course, this has been discontinued. What a crime. Number 6, my baby. Amber Pour Homme Intense is the greatest formal fragrance of all time. I don't think there's any question. Now, I have at least reasonable quantities of 45 niche fragrances. By that, I mean, you know, small decants and up, right? And I still haven't found anything that is better in a formal occasion than this. It shouldn't be a surprise that the best formal fragrance is from Prada, given what I said before about Prada being very, very clean. The only time I've ever worn a tuxedo in my life, I rented it, was to go to a friend's wedding in another city. I was the best man. And I'll tell you, it was the one time in my life where I made sure everything about me was clean, you know, like everything. I'm going to pay to wear someone else's suit, so I better look good. I better smell good. And honestly, that is really what Prada does. It does clean well, but it also does clean, and this is clean in a dark way. You know, you've got myrrh and patchouli. You've got a little bit of amber. You've got some saffron. Very clean, but very, very dark. This is kind of like a black tie fragrance, a perfect thing that you would wear in black tie. It's still the best formal fragrance that I've ever tried. Number 7, Terre, and this could be the greatest of all time in so many categories. First of all, I was talking about Fragrantica voting. In the last 7 years, this has come second 5 times and third twice. So this is easily, for collectors, the number 2 fragrance of all time. But this is also extremely versatile. You can wear it in all kinds of situations. It's also a very clean office fragrance. And I think that's what I'm going to settle on is the greatest office fragrance of all time. I think for the evening formal, you want to wear this. But I think for the day, this is probably better. And it's generally thought to be great in the office. It's just very clean, as I said before. And you want to be clean at work. You have to have a good impression at work. There's a lot of citrus here, the grapefruit and the orange. But really, it's the vetiver. It's a very smooth, clean vetiver. And then you've got a little bit of pepper to give it some bite. But yeah, it's a classic. It's a classic. Fragrance number 8, Versace Aros. This is my pet project, but I firmly believe this is the most influential fragrance for what people are wearing today. I don't think it's Sauvage. I really don't. You know, Sauvage has spawned a couple of clones, but I look at all the fragrance houses for the last few years. The big thing right now, look at myself, huge seller. The big thing right now is sweet and fruity. And it all started in 2012 with this guy. Now, all the other fragrances, I think, have improved upon this. You know, they've done a really good job. But this is still a really darn good fragrance, top 5 seller in the U.S. And now the problem with this one is that the fruitiness goes away after about an hour or so. The more modern fragrances, it keeps going. But yeah, it's got some mint too. But it's also got a lot of apple and a lot of vanilla, very, very fruity, very influential fragrance. Yeah, granddaddy. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Take care.